The radical left is exposed. They're weak, and their pathetic policies have been out there long enough now that we don't want them. We'll never take them. We are bringing back our country, and we are bringing back our freedom. A person who's very shy, doesn't like speaking her mind, but she does it anyway. Marjorie Taylor Greene. Where's Marjorie? A man that knows me almost better than any human being. He knows every inch of me. And he thinks it's actually a very beautiful sight. That's why I like it. That's why I like it. He was the White House doctor. He said President Trump is the healthiest president in history. If he didn't eat junk food, he'd live for 200 years. That got us into a lot of trouble, right, Ronnie? Who are the toughest? Who are the worst? I said, the worst are the politicians. The toughest are the politicians. The meanest are the politicians. And the biggest lying scum are the politicians. Like Adam Shifty Schiff. Where do you meet people like this? And that's a lot of fake news. Look at all those cameras up there. Wow. You also have to portray a strength to the outside world. Otherwise, they're going to walk all over you. And that's what they're doing right now. You could take the 5 worst presidents in American history and put them together, and they would not have done the damage that Joe Biden and his administration has done in just a very short 13 months. An unrivaled military. We rebuilt the military, and we added Space Force on top of it. And peace and quiet was all around the world. Now inflation is the highest in 40 years. Economists are talking about $5, $6, $7, and even $8 a gallon gasoline. China is threatening Taiwan. Russia is decimating Ukraine. Iran is on the cusp of a nuclear bomb, and our great military has been humiliated in its surrender from Afghanistan, and that's what it was. It was a surrender for no reason whatsoever. Joe Biden has turned calm into chaos, competence into incompetence, stability into anarchy, and security into catastrophe. We are praying for the proud people of Ukraine. God bless them all. God bless them all. Under Bush, Russia invaded Georgia. Under Obama, Russia took Crimea. Under Biden, Russia invaded Ukraine. I stand as the only president of the 21st century on whose watch Russia did not invade another country. Thank you. I gave Ukraine the javelins that everyone is now talking about and millions of dollars of other military equipment. The Obama administration gave them blankets. You remember? They gave them blankets. They said, we need more than blankets. No, we gave you blankets. They sent them blankets. Thank you very much. And the perception of our country was perhaps like it had never been before. Powerful, cunning, and smart. We were a smart country. Now we're a stupid country. And I was proud to be the first president in decades who did not get our country into any wars. I got you out of wars. But now Joe Biden is seen as a weak, and I hate to say it because I want him to do a great job. I really want him to do. Politically, I don't care. I would much rather have him do a great job than a poor job. But nobody could ever believe how bad and weak and grossly incompetent it has been. And when you have a weak president who is not respected by other nations, you have a very chaotic world. And the world hasn't been this chaotic since World War II. I think we can say that. We can say that very strongly. I have no doubt that President Putin made his decision to ruthlessly attack Ukraine only after watching the pathetic withdrawal from Afghanistan. The problem is not that Putin is smart, which of course he's smart, but the real problem is that our leaders are dumb. Dumb. Putin is playing Biden like a drum, and it's not a pretty thing as somebody that loves our country to watch. But I did a lot of things that were very tough on Russia. No president was ever as tough on Russia as I was. And I'd come in, the fake news would say, Trump loves Russia, he loves Russia. Then we had the Russia hoax, which is now with Durham and Mueller and all the rest, just a total hoax. It was a made-up, fictional story. But with respect to what's going on now, it would have been so easy for me to stop this travesty from happening. He understood me, and he understood that I didn't play games. This would not have happened. Remember, Joe and Hunter Biden got $3.5 million from the mayor of Moscow's wife and were never allowed to explain in the debate. Remember we had the debate? And I said, hey, what'd you do with the $3.5 million that you got from the mayor of Moscow's wife? And Chris Wallace, who I assume was now fired from Fox, which is good. He said, that's not an appropriate question. That turned out to be another one. Trump was right. That turned out to be another very appropriate question. He got $3.5 million from the mayor of Moscow's wife. Very rich family, I will tell you that. They kept saying, where's the money? Where's the money? Where's the money? No, you got to get rid of that prosecutor. He's getting too close. Can you imagine if I did that? And he was on tape. And the fake news media, those people right there, refused to report it. Over the next 3 weeks or 4 weeks, as one of the worst scandals ever, I call it the crime of the century, ballot harvesting, as it gets released, and it's all on tape. Unbelievably, Biden is now claiming that you must sacrifice through higher energy prices to foot the cost of his failed foreign policy in Europe. We have a world that's ready to blow up and disintegrate over energy, and he's talking about global warming. The oceans may rise over the next 300 years, 1/100th of an inch. Giving you slightly more seafront property, and this is his problem. He's not thinking about the nuclear warming, he's thinking about other types of warming. The reason we've got soaring gas prices is that Biden shut down American Energy, canceled our oil and gas leases just 2 days ago. 2 days ago, they canceled many oil and gas leases because of the environment. It's really unbelievable. And canceled the Keystone XL pipeline that I approved, while he enriched Putin by approving the Russian pipeline, which has really been at the core of much of the problem we have right now. And I fought Angela. I said, Angela, here is a white flag, happened to be a white napkin that was on my desk. And if you ever have a conflict with Russia, you will be able to wave the white flag and surrender, because they supply your energy. And I knew that would happen. I just never had any idea it was going to happen so fast. Now Biden is pleading with OPEC and begging Iran to re-enter the disastrous nuclear deal. With Biden, you get a war in Europe and a war on American energy. With Republicans, you get energy independence and energy dominance. We would have been bigger than Russia and Saudi Arabia combined ×2 in 1 year. We were already bigger. We should not be buying Russian energy, but rather allow the people of our country to start producing like they did just 1 year ago. This will drive prices down, drive inflation down. You want to get rid of inflation or bring it way down? Reduce the cost of energy. That's the single biggest factor having to do with inflation. Under Joe Biden, we're losing our country no different than if we had lost it in a war. No different. We stand with the truckers, and we stand with the Canadian people in their noble quest to reclaim their freedom. The people who are masking our children may plan to lift those mandates right before the election, thinking they'll get some votes, but we will never forget what they did to our children, we will hold them accountable at the ballot box this November. Our mission in 2022 and in 2024 is to take on this radical and power-hungry ruling class and to deliver them an electoral defeat so resounding that they are exiled into political oblivion, never, ever to return again. They set violent criminals loose without charges while prosecuting their political opponents for fabricated crimes. They legalize mass robberies and cheer for BLM and Antifa rioters, ransacking our cities while they hold nonviolent protesters without trial, destroy their lives. They try to silence voices like Joe Rogan for alleged misinformation while they perpetuate the most flagrant hoaxes and monstrous lies like the Russia, Russia, Russia hoax. How was that? For 3 years, we had to put up with the Russia, Russia, Russia hoax. It was a total hoax. They stick the FBI on mothers at school board meetings while they teach 4-year-olds to pick their own genders. Would you like to change your gender? And they say it's absolutely fine for a boy or a man to participate in women's sports. I don't think so. All the while they claim as they are the ones defending democracy. They say they are the ones that are going to defend your democracy and your justice. It's a lot of bullshit, that's what it is. Now we know that crooked Hillary not only spied on my campaign, she spied on the White House. Do you remember when I said years ago, I think they spied on my campaign, and everybody said on the other side, how dare he say that? How dare he? Well, it turned out to be true. And I want to thank John Durham for figuring that out. If I renounce my beliefs, if I agreed to stay silent, if I stayed at home, if I said I'm not going to run, the persecution would stop immediately. They'd go on to the next victim. We're going to end Nancy Pelosi's political career once and for all. And then we're going to kick the Biden crime family out of the White House in 2024 or sooner. We will bring Joe Biden's inflation-causing socialist spending spree to a screeching halt. But I said, Abdul, you're killing our soldiers. You better fucking not kill our soldiers anymore. Because if you do, you will be hit like no country has ever been hit. You will be hit harder than anybody has ever been hit. To get to the bottom of big tech's 2020 election interference, let's find out who made the decision to censor. Who made that decision to censor the Joe and Hunter Biden corruption bombshell, which the pollsters said amounted to about 15 points? And let's do a full forensic audit of the $417 million given by Mark Zuckerberg, who used to come to the White House and kiss my ass. You know, we had drop boxes. 97% for Joe Biden because he campaigned so hard from his basement. The hardest thing to do isn't to have caught them. It's to get those people to write anything about him. Because without the fake news, you don't have a scandal. They got to resist. They got to fight. They got to fight. We have no choice. We got to fight like hell. We can't let them destroy our country. We are done with the fascists and communists and socialists, and we are done with their distorted visions for America. We are a laughingstock all over the world today. Do you remember, though, when so many people in the Democrat Party and during the debates said he's going to get us into the Third World War with Trump? I'm the one that didn't have any wars. Now don't you ever